somebody in the finance department would discover this mistake, allegedly, assuming it's true, because if they made the mistake on the front end, what's to say they're not mistaken now?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got an episode out of Chilton County, Alabama, that shows the importance and the benefit of even a union so weak that they don't like to be called a union. AL.com has been following a story about overpayments in the Chilton County school systems. Employees are now expected to pay back tens of thousands of dollars that they were supposedly overpaid over the course of years. The county has been paying them for years, apparently more than they were supposed to be getting. And now they're saying you got to pay back tens of thousands of dollars. And the AEA, the Alabama Education Association, who is a professional association for educators in the state of Alabama, in other states, the NEA affiliates call themselves a union, but the AEA shies away from that. But they're fighting back with a lawsuit. From a recent article on the saga in AL.com, the suit claims the two employees were unaware of the overpayments. They were not given due process, meaning they had no chance to contest the overpayment, and employees will suffer serious, adverse financial harm through no fault of their own if they're required to pay the money back, which is obviously true. I mean, I don't see how you could dispute that. Judge Sibley Reynolds granted plaintiffs' request for a temporary restraining order to keep the district from automatically deducting payments while the lawsuit is considered. The Alabama Education Association is providing legal representation for the plaintiffs, both of whom are members of the organization. We want to make sure these employees are treated fair, AEA Associate Director Taryn Stokes said, and we know that they don't owe one dime back to the Board of Education. What they're trying to do to them and their family is unconscionable, which is true.
Yeah, and that I've experienced that here in Huntsville. I'll never forget some of the cafeteria workers and custodial workers who were caught up in a similar issue where the district allegedly discovered they had been overpaying some of these employees, in this case, for years as well. And it was a relatively small amount, but it added up.
Over the years, it adds up, yeah.
Over the years, it adds up. Once you factor in overtime, it adds up. And what would happen is somebody in the finance department would, discover this mistake, allegedly, assuming it's true, right? Because if they made the mistake on the front end, what's to say they're not mistaken now,
right?
With their new math. But regardless, they would discover it, and then in the cases I dealt with, the school district wanted it all paid back the very next check, within within that month's check, and it could have been a problem that existed for years.
Right.
So my argument was, well, if it took you 2 years to make the mistake, why can't you allow the person 2 years to pay you back? Mm-hmm. Seems reasonable. And when you're talking about a custodian or a cafeteria worker, they're lucky if they're bringing home $1,000 after taxes and benefits are taken out.
Right.
And you want to claw back payments all at once?
Crazy. I don't think, to be fair, if we wanted to do such a thing, the Chilton County Board of Education is not doing that. They have proposed payment plans, but
yeah, and I think part of the dispute here is whether or not
they even owe
anything at all.
Right.
But I definitely experienced it where, the district, I think, made a valid argument that there had been overpayment that seemed on the up and up. And that wasn't really in dispute, but for some reason they thought it was acceptable to try to claw back these payments all in one chunk.
Right.
Without considering the fact that this custodian is in my office crying because she doesn't know how she's going to keep her lights on for the month.
Bosses.
And that shows you the lack of empathy, the lack of concern they have for employees. It's just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do applaud AEA for taking up this fight to the courts, and good for the judge for actually issuing the temporary restraining order. A lot more of this needs to happen because it's happening all over the state, I can assure you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.